you could live and be yourself and that would be enough, or that the cost of becoming pretty was your mind?
Oh, yes, because beauty and brains do not mix at all in this world. You have to pick one. Either be conventionally attractive and be a vapid, shallow bimbo, or you can be smart and just super, so completely ugly. I can't stand looking at these people. So ugly. Hey everyone, so this week I decided to watch Uglies. I do not know why. I read the book 15 years ago. I disliked the book 15 years ago, and even though I disliked the book, I continue to read it. I continue to read the series that I disliked, and now I watch the movie, and that solidified what I disliked about the book. We'll start off by saying that Uglies by Scott Westerfeld was published in 2005. That means it was published before The Hunger Games and before dystopian YA really took off as a genre. This was brand new. This was ahead of the curve. So I appreciate that. Anyway, because I read this book 15 years ago and I didn't like it, I have not gone back and reread it, but I do have a very good memory. I even remember the chain of events that led to me reading the book and reading the series despite not liking it, as I said. Okay, let's start with the summary. So Ugly starts off with an info dump, which I know, I'm 99% sure the book didn't do. The book started off when she went to break into the Pretties city to go see Paris, who had completely ghosted her after he became pretty. Anyway, but this movie starts off with an info dump. We ruin the world thanks to global warming, and then they found renewable energy, and then operations to make people pretty. And Tally is gonna be 16 soon, and she cannot wait to have this major plastic surgery procedure and be able to live the high life, you know. Her BFF turns 16 first, and he ghosts her. And then when we see him again, he just doesn't care about her at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Things are just different here. I didn't really know what we talk about. I mean, you'll get it. You're pretty.
Just seems like a completely different person, even though he looks pretty much exactly the same. So this was a weak point in the movie, and I can understand why this wouldn't work in the movie. In the book, the procedure is dramatic. Yeah, the Uglies who are described as ugly, from the way that it's described in the book, it doesn't sound like they would be ugly to us normal people who are not as gung-ho about plastic surgery. But it's ugly in a world where plastic surgery is so normalized that everybody has extensive work done by the time they're 16. Anyway, this guy does not look like he's had extensive work done between here and here. He got his hair bleached. He has different color eyes. These are very subtle changes, and it makes you wonder, or it made me wonder, hey, in this world, as an ugly person, are you not able to go to the drugstore and buy some bleach?
What color eyes do you want, Shay? I don't know. I'm gonna get gold to match my hair. Your hair's brown. Yeah, for long.
Are they not able to go to the store and buy some nice clothes? Because there are different aspects of your outer beauty. Yes, there are things that you are born with that you cannot change unless you were to go and get plastic surgery. But then there are other aspects of your appearance, such as your hair, the length of your hair, the texture. You can straighten your hair if you want to straighten your hair, or curl your hair if you want to curl your hair. You can dye your hair if you want to dye your hair. You don't need plastic surgery for any of that shit. And then you can wear makeup and wear nice clothes, and nobody in the Ugliesville does that, even though they all dream of becoming pretty. I'm so confused by that. What I remember about the book that wasn't in the movie, I remember that the procedure gives the characters huge eyes because having big eyes signals vulnerability. Do I not know how to pronounce that word? It makes them look vulnerable. I pictured in my head that these people were walking around looking like giant babies. Anyway, after Tally is ditched by her friend Paris, she meets a girl who is drop dead gorgeous. She's so pretty. Oh my god. Anyway, Tally meets this girl, but she's questioning things. She's over here reading a book. What is that? What what are books? She's also out here saying, I don't think I'm that ugly, and I don't use that like futuristic Instagram where you look at different versions of yourself after the procedure, where you basically look the same except you have makeup on and your hair is bleached and straightened and you're wearing contact lenses. I mean, the least that they could have done with these people, make them wear those circle contact lenses that make your eyes look huge. But anyway, yeah, so this girl's a rebel and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna just live off in the woods and not get plastic surgery and not do any of the other things that I'm supposed to do when I turn 16. And Tally's like, whoa, what? Why would you do something like that? And then when Tally turns 16, she cannot get her major plastic surgery procedure because her friend has escaped. And Dr. Cable, played by Laverne Cox, is like, you have to go find her and betray her because she might be in danger. Tally does as she's told, only to find out that these people living in the woods who have foregone plastic surgery but who are still absolutely drop dead, supermodel gorgeous, they're actually not planning on killing anybody. They just want to mind their own business and not have plastic surgery, which just isn't allowed in this world. You're not allowed to say, no, I don't want this plastic surgery. I'll just go about my life without that. No thanks. Tally is won over by these people, but then she kind of accidentally betrays them because the tracker that she was given, she didn't know that it could activate after she destroyed it. Specials come over, just able to execute people on the spot. We find out in the smoke that the Pretties are not just vapid because they have plastic surgery and now that they're drop dead gorgeous, they just don't care about anything else other than partying and being gorgeous. They are like this because during their plastic surgery procedure, Dr. Cable said, to hell with HIPAA laws, to hell with informed consent, I'm just going to perform a lobotomy on the spot. This is a problem that I had with the book as well as with the movie, because I'm like, maybe this is snobbish of me, but I feel like sci-fi, especially dystopian sci-fi, has a good opportunity to give us some sort of social commentary. At the time that I read this book, I had read pretty much most of the dystopian fiction books that you are required to read at school. So I had read The Giver, I read 1984, I read Fahrenheit 451, I read Brave New World. I could understand the social commentary in those books and how with science fiction that allows us to comment on issues with our society, issues with human nature that maybe you can't discuss fully if you were to talk about it in a contemporary sense. So you have to make this science fiction environment so that you are able to fully explore these ideas. With Uglies, it's like beauty is only skin deep. There's something called inner beauty. That doesn't challenge me.
What you do, the way you think, makes you beautiful.
Everybody is already told all of that about inner beauty, so that doesn't really help. And it's just very shallow. And then when it comes to this world, I couldn't help but think, okay, the problem isn't that these people are having extensive plastic surgery. The critique isn't that, it's the lobotomies that come with it. In this world where you can just perform a lobotomy on anybody, they don't even have to consent to any type of surgery. When it comes to Shay, she was like kicking and screaming and protesting the whole time, but they forced this plastic surgery and this lobotomy on her. Why couldn't this lobotomy happen during any other surgical procedure? Like if you needed to get your wisdom teeth pulled, oh, we're just going to add in a lobotomy in there too. The lobotomies just undercut the social commentary that you were going to give us. Now, something that was interesting in the book that was not brought up in the movies.
These weren't normal scouts. They weren't regular pretties. They were fast. Too fast. I've never seen anything like them.
I saw them run through fire.
There are different species of pretties called specials, except in the book they are not pretty at all. As I mentioned, the pretties are made to look vulnerable. You look at them and you would underestimate them, and again, they are vapid and shallow and all of that. I think that an idea that could be explored in depth is not just the difference between pretty and ugly, but the ways that your appearance can affect how people respond to you. So maybe some people might want the doe-eyed, pretty look, but in other cases, that look might not work. So if you are in a position of authority, if people don't want to look at you and think, oh my God, you look so young, you look like a little baby, I don't trust you. In some senses, looking older, looking maybe more scary looking, that might be more of an asset. And in the book, the specials were part of law enforcement, and instead of getting a lobotomy that made them all vapid and only care about partying and hooking up, it made them very quick to anger and very aggressive. And their face looked more aggressive too. The plastic surgery procedure also made them like jump higher and crawl better and made them faster. I thought that was an interesting idea that we could have gone further with, but in the movie, Harris doesn't really look different as a special, and they don't have that, you know, like, ooh, that person looks scary and I don't want to cross them, I don't want to mess with them kind of look. So despite the fact that I didn't like this movie and I didn't feel like it had challenged me or anything, I didn't completely hate it. I mean, the action was fun, and that's kind of how I felt about the book. And I know some of you guys might be wondering, girl, why did you read these books if you hated them? Well, let me tell you what happened back then, okay? Back in the year 2008, I started watching this one YouTube channel called 5 Awesome Girls. And in that YouTube channel, Christina, who made videos on Monday, she decided to take on this 50 book challenge. But over the year, she struggled. And I don't think she was successful in completing that. And I watched that back in 2008 and I was like, I could do that. I could do that. So then in 2009, I decided to go for a 50 book challenge, or maybe I even went for a 60 book challenge. I don't know. I ended up favoring books that were more faster paced, and some of the books that I read I didn't like, but I could read them quickly, and I hated that about myself. I remember I also picked up Jude the Obscure that year, and I didn't finish it because it was more challenging text, even though I thought it was a better book, but it wasn't getting me to that 50 book goal, and that's why I don't do those kinds of challenges anymore. But I also think that one of the reasons why I didn't finish Jude the Obscure was because earlier that year I had watched Tess of the D'Urbervilles on Masterpiece Classic, and that really hurt my feelings. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so there's that. If you're watching this, thank you. I do also want to review other things that are on Netflix. Like I just watched Heartstopper, and I watched Young Royals the last season when it came out, and I had some things to say, and I did a rant review where I mainly talked about Sarah and August, and then I said, oh no, I should make another video that's more positive where I talk about the other aspects of the show. But then I felt like, even though I'm 90% done with editing that video, I'm like, that video seems dishonest to me because my opinion on Sarah and August influence my opinion on the rest of the show. Oh my god, I've been talking for 20 minutes so far. This is supposed to be a quick video. Therefore, I will log off. If you've watched this far, tell me, what YA dystopian fiction have you read that you actually liked or didn't like? I would say of the YA dystopian fiction that was published between like the Uglies and now, The Hunger Games is the cream of the crop for me, and the worst of the worst that I've read, Divergent, hands down. What about you?